Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this cold, wintry Montreal day. And I am so happy that we are allowed to travel today all the way to Israel for a delicious lunch and a tour of the Machane Yehuda market with our tour guide, Orit, and with our chef, Shauna. And Shauna is going to be making shawarma chicken and fattoush salad, and it's going to be very delicious. Shauna, as most of you know, is a long-standing Shaar member. There she is. Hi, Shauna. And Shauna is a chef. She has graduated from the National Gourmet Cooking School in Pastry Arts from the Institute of Culinary Education in New York City. She's also trained at the Cordon Bleu School in Paris, so she knows what she's talking about. And now Shauna combines her love of cooking with her passion for Israel, and she lives in Israel with her husband and 3 sons, and she has a yearly tour for women, which I would love to do one day, because Israel and food, it's the best combination. So I'm going to pass it over to Shauna and Orit as they take us on our tour today. Oh, if you have questions, pop them in the chat, please, and we will get to them throughout the session. So let's go.
Yay! Thank you so much, Michaela, for organizing this amazing opportunity. I have been giddy with excitement all day to connect with the Hashomayim in Montreal. It is, as you see, it's dark outside. It's 7 o'clock here. And I'm thrilled to be offering a cooking class to bring a little bit of Israel to you in Montreal, and to introduce my sidekick in touring and guiding, Orit Levy, who lives in Jerusalem. I am in Ra'anana right now, about an hour away from her. And together we lead a food tour called Shefa, which means abundance in Hebrew, which really was the word that coined how I felt having moved here 7 years ago, being overwhelmed with the abundance of opportunity, the abundance of energy, the abundance of gorgeous fruits and vegetables that are all local here, and really just the abundance of gratitude that I really feel for having this experience living here with my family, and connecting also always with where I come from, which the Hashomayim is at the core of my Jewish identity, my family, my community that I still call home, and where I got married, where our children had many of their simchas. So together, this opportunity of connecting with you guys tonight is really very emotional for me. And so it's bridging all my worlds together. So we have a great hour together where we want to bring you to Israel, and Orit is the guide to do this. And she's going to be leading you right to the heart, the Mecca, the source in Jerusalem. So I hand it off to Orit. You're in Jerusalem.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here with you today. I'm Orit. I'm a Jerusalemite tour guide. I was born and raised in Jerusalem, and I still live in Jerusalem. Although when I was 20-ish, I did the obvious. I went to live in Tel Aviv, where everyone goes to in Israel. But then I surprised everyone, mainly myself, and I came back. So I'm here in Jerusalem, which I love. I'm actually very excited to do this today, and I'm wearing my Canadian shirt, which was given to me by Elaine Dubrovsky. Maybe she goes to your shul, so it's really very exciting for me. Jerusalem is amazing in many different ways. I get my inspiration mainly from the market. The market is the place where everything happens. It's very alive and it's beautiful. COVID-19 have been a challenge for everyone all around the world and also here in Jerusalem. But if you want to feel alive and you want to celebrate and you want to really feel the living, you go to the Shuk. So between the first and the second lockdown, and also the second and the third one, I went to the Shuk. I filmed a lot of different things, and I really want to share with you something. I really hope that you will feel the atmosphere and how the Shuk feels like. So I want to start with a short film of the market that I'll show you in a minute.
Which will make you all want to jump up in your chairs and dance along.
So this is my beloved Machane Yehuda market, and I really hope that you got the feeling and the atmosphere of the Shuk. This is where I buy most of my products, and I'm really excited to be the sidekick of Shauna today that will show us what she's going to prep that is connected also to Machane Yehuda. So Shauna, back to you.
So we're back in Ra'anana, everybody, and as I said, I'm an hour away from the market, so I don't get to shop regularly in the market, but there's always the very special things that you always go hunting for. And I know Michaela, when she was watching the video beforehand, she was so excited to see Marzipan Bakery there. So I hope it sparks some memorabilia and some smells and the heat usually, and the tzafuf, when you mean you're being crowded and pushed through it, which, you know, I think we're all wanting to be pushed through something and to, you know, enjoy that energy of everybody around us, which will too come back. So in the meantime, from the comforts of your home, I'm going to bring you a little bit of some recipes that come from the market. And the first thing we're going to be making is tahina. And tahina is made of sesame paste, and it's like the ketchup of this country, okay? Tahina is poured on everything. And whether you're having a frozen yogurt and you pour fresh tahina on top of it with some date syrup, or you're, you know, having a falafel or some grilled shawarma, which we're gonna have today, you drizzle a little bit of tahina on it. So there's many different brands. I happen to love this brand, and you see this is a very big bottle. You can see the proportions of it. I go through a lot of it. It does not need to be refrigerated. And the thing with tahina, like when you buy fresh peanut butter, you need to shake it because it is it's pure fat, good fat, nothing to be afraid of, and something to embrace, and it makes your hair shiny and your nails grow. And it's just made from roasted sesame seeds. And the sesame seeds, I'm afraid to say, don't come from Israel. They come from Ethiopia, but they're brought in here and they're roasted and then they're pounded. And you're gonna see that a little bit later on. But in the meantime, I'm not pounding anything. I'm buying it like this. I'm keeping it in my pantry. And what I love to do is to make a quick tahina sauce. And you want to be making this yourself. This is not something you want to be buying. And once you make it, it stays in your fridge for a couple of 3 days. But you're going to go through it so fast, you're just going to keep making it. And it's so crazy simple. So the first thing we're going to do, as I said, we're going to shake and get a little bit of exercise. And it's gonna pour right out, as you can see. It's nice and beautiful, like caramelly color. Doesn't smell like caramel, smells like sesame, ground up, delicious sesame seeds. And the fact that it all came out the same color, it's not chunky, it's not dry, you don't have to dig on the bottom. In the 70s and the 80s, there used to be cans that used to like dig in the bottom. They're so fresh and nice and liquidy. And you can eat it, as I said, just like this, but we're gonna add a little bit of panache to it. And I'm gonna add a little bit of some cumin. And remember, like when I smell it, you see me reacting. If your spices don't make you react, time to get some new spices, okay? Spices don't go bad, they just lose their strength. And we all, need some revitalizing sometimes. So if it just is involved in refilling your bottles a little bit, hey, that's an easy one to do. Don't be buying your spices in big amounts unless you're giving it out for Mishloach Manot. But you could be keeping them in your freezer. You can be giving them out to friends. But spices do lose their strength over time because the humidity robs them of their flavor. So I'm going to be adding some cumin.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, so there's two types of tahini here in Montreal. So I buy an organic one. It says tahini paste, but it is where I have to stir it with the oil. So I should buy the one from Israel I just shake and go.
You should always be buying from Israel. Let's just say that. No, you really want to make sure that you can shake it and it will come together. Okay. If it's very difficult to come together, it's no fun using.
No.
Ari, do you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, well, when we say tahini, usually we actually mean two things, okay? First is the raw tahini, which is just sesame seed paste with nothing added to it. And there's also the dip that we make from the tahini. So when you buy the tahini, the raw one, okay, usually the fresh one doesn't have a lot of liquid on top, doesn't have a lot of oil on top, because oil separates by time. So if it's fresh, it doesn't have a lot of oil on top. It just looks the same from the bottom to the top. Okay, so if you buy tahini, which is a good, like very high quality tahini, it should look the same from the bottom to the top. If not, next time don't buy it.
Okay,
and I know that
the Israeli one. Okay.
Okay, so
okay.
That's my say for tahini.
That's it, and that's what we're making. We're making the Tatino sauce right now. So again, you can eat it just plain. It's yummy and delicious. Or we're going to enrich it a little bit. So I'm going to be adding a clove of garlic. And again, if there's anything here,
pour in the bowl. Do you know how much? How much tahini in the bowl you poured?
I have a half a cup of tahini in the bowl right now.
Okay.
Half a cup, and I'm putting in. This was a big garlic clove, so I'm putting a big one in, and you see I'm pressing it so it's nice and fine. You don't want to be chopping the garlic for this because you don't want to be biting on pieces of it. That's not like the most fun to happen. And then what we're going to be doing is adding, which are falling off trees right now, are the lemons, okay? And so I have a strainer just to catch my seeds. And okay, I should take off the sticker, number one. But always what you want to do is keep your lemons at room temperature and roll them on the counter. And that will literally get the juices rolling and release the pulp. So I'm cutting it in half, and you don't need any fancy gizmos, just my fork. I'm putting it right inside, and you're gonna see how much juice is coming out of here, okay? This is quite a bit of juice. And again, these are in season here, so that's great. They're not coming out of cold storage. But you see, without my fork, and I'm not pretending, that's about as much as I'm gonna get. Now I'm going to go in my fork and look how much more I'm going to get. So in terms of waste, all you need is to put the fork in, and don't worry, you won't go right into your hand. It's instinctive. You just won't do that. So, and you'll also discover what cuts you do have on your hand, which is good. We're all getting in touch with what's going on in our lives. So I have my lemon juice, I have my cumin, I have my garlic. We always need a little bit of salt. And so notice I'm taking my salt in my hand. I'm not shaking it because shakers break. So I love to put it in my fingers first and then add it. And you can always add more. We're going to be adding some fresh garlic because I love fresh garlic. And flat garlic is like a whole other family. This is the family you want to join. Okay. And then what you want to do,
what kind of salt did you use? Can you use Himalayan salt, or it has to be kosher?
You can use any salt you want. We're not discriminating. Yes. Okay. And you're going to know which salt that, how salty your salt is. Like you get a feel like, I was a big kosher salt girl here, but I couldn't find, the diamond salt that I found. You adjust, which is what we are doing. We are adjusting. We're on Zoom. We're not in the Hashomayim kitchen. Where is Tanya? We're not in the right place, but at least we're connecting. And I think that how many 88 people who are online right today who are, warming up in their home, connecting to each other. I wish I could see all of you. Okay, so back to tahina. I don't want to start getting mitrageshet. They say very emotional. So the thing that's interesting about a liquid is usually when you add more liquid to it, it gets more liquidy. When you add liquid to tahina, it does the opposite and it seizes up. Okay, it gets lumpy. It's not the normal reaction. And this is the time where you kind of go, oh God, what did I do? I knew I wasn't meant to use this. I shouldn't have bought it. I'm going to throw it out. Or maybe you go to YouTube. This is when you kind of go, hear my voice going, it's okay. Zeyeh beseder, as everybody says in Israel. Zeyeh beseder, it's going to be okay. And it's thick. It doesn't look like a sauce. So what we're going to be doing is adding some regular cold water and just add it gradually and go slowly. And you're going to see, not only is it going to start to liquefy, it's also going to turn a light color. Interesting. So it lightens up and it starts looking like the tahina that you drizzle in your falafel, that you put on your sabich sandwich, that we're going to be putting. See, it's still thick, if you guys can see. So again, I want to adjust it a little bit more. And it really smells like roasting sesame seeds. That's what it's smelling like. And that's the quality, the difference of your tahina, that you're going to find the one that you like. And so, Michaela, you got to go hunt that Israeli one that's uniform and find the ones. I know there's some American companies making them as well, but you find the one that you like. And then we have this beautiful, delicious sauce that we're going to be putting on our grilled chicken.
Smells great.
You know what? You need to know actually where the tahina is made. So I'm going to send you right back to Machane Yehuda to where it all starts.
So as I've said, Machane Yehuda is a great place for inspiration. It has everything, really. There's more than 400 different stalls in the market. You can find whatever you want, from houseware to food, fresh vegetables and fruits, fish, whatever you want, you can find in the market. I visit almost every day. I buy everything over there, and I love the people over there, so I go to visit as well. And I want to share with you something that I filmed on Mamlechet HaChalva. Mamlechet HaChalva, or the Chalva Kingdom, okay, is the place that most of the people know. It's actually a factory that produces tahini and chalva for actually from 1947, even before Israel was born. So I want to share with you what I filmed over there, so you'll be able to transfer yourself to Machane Yehuda Market.
If you're Israeli, you have to love tahini. We eat it with everything. It's like the Israeli ketchup in a way. We eat it just like that. We make a dip out of it. We put it on baba ganoush, on salads. Tahini is one of my favorite things. And we are at a place that is called Mamlechet HaChalva, the Chalva Kingdom. So what's the connection between chalva and tahini? We'll see it in a minute.
Welcome to the King Tahini. I have the best sesame of the world. Come taste.
Tahini is made from sesame. The best sesame comes from Ethiopia. It is cleaned and then put in this amazing machine that takes the sesame seeds, as you can see, and grinds them in between the stones, and it comes out as 100% sesame seed paste. So this is Oren from Mamlechet HaChalva, and he is going to give me some taste of tahini.
This is the best of tahini.
So the first one is the basic one, right?
It's the classic.
And this is 100% sesame seed paste, the classic one, which I love, and I put on everything. How many flavors do you have?
I have 25 different flavors.
25 different flavors of tahini.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What, like what, for example?
Like sweet, salty, spicy.
I would try
You
the
wanna
spicy.
try?
Yeah, the spicy.
One?
Yeah. I'm
With the
Moroccan.
hot
I should be fine. Is it hot? Harif?
It's
Yeah?
the spicy chili.
Oh, spicy. Tough. Do you have something sweet?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You want coriander, you want dates honey, chocolate, nougat.
Chocolate, of course, chocolate. I have to. Wow, chocolate tahina. Magniv. Oh my, this is like a dessert. It's amazing. So they have 25 different tahini flavors, and you also have halva, right? Yeah. So can we go and taste some halva?
Why not?
So halva is made from sesame, sugar, and flavors. They have 101 different kinds of flavors of halva. You can see here lemon and chocolate, pecan, hazelnut, cashews, chocolates, lots of chocolates, and one of my favorites is whiskey, pistachios, and the classic one, as you can see over here.
I have this the special one. You have a whiskey one.
Whiskey, yes.
Yeah. This is the whiskey one.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Very
Amazing.
special. Thank you.
There's a amazing. Okay, what else do you have?
And I have pistachio. This is the best seller.
Wow. Look at that.
So tahini is very popular in Israel, and so is halva, which is an amazing dessert. It's actually a Turkish dessert, but in Israel it's very popular. I actually tasted the tahini of Shana, and it's amazing because the garlic and the cumin is perfect. And what are we having except tahina, Shana?
Well, we're going a little backwards. We're starting with the sauce. So now we're going to go on to the salad. And the salad is going to be a chopped Israeli salad, which lettuce is definitely found here. It is a thing, but chopped salad is more of something that is more known here. But you know, every good nationality has a crouton of some sort. So I'm going to do a pita chip that's going to go inside our fattoush salad that's going to be seasoned with this punchy spice called sumac. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the crouton. And I don't know about you, but I'm always left with one pita in the bag. And nobody wants to eat it. And here, the pita goes bad. You look at it the next day and it's blue. So you got to find something to do with it. So either you throw it in your freezer, which is what I do, and then I find 5 different bags of one pita bags, or you watch it turn blue and look at it as a science experiment. But today, what I want to teach you is what you can do with that one lonely left pita. It should be like the lonely planet, the lonely pita, and what we can do with it. So first thing, it creates a natural pocket, right? So what you want to do is we want to open up the pocket. So I'm taking my scissors, which are my kitchen scissors, not my arts and crafts scissors, and treat yourself to a good pair because we love having our toys. And I'm just splitting it up with my fingers, okay? And so I have 2 of them. You can do this with any type of pita, whole wheat pita, spelt pita, any kind you want. The browner, the better. You guys all know that. But this is as white as day, like sort of as my skin. But it smells so fresh. Yes, Michaela?
Question. I have the one bag in the pita problem too. Someone had asked if the spatula you were using, was it a Hudson Bay spatula?
It was. Thank you.
Bingo. There you go.
Product placement. Oh, Canada.
Perfect.
I love having my little toys that bring me home. So
Perfect.
this
Just
is my Hudson
people
Bay.
to put their questions in the box so we can answer them as we go along.
Yes. So thank you for noticing the small details. They say God is in the details, right? So yes, that was there, and I use it all the time, and it was a gift. And this is the time to actually take inventory of what's in your house, in your kitchen, and to play with all your toys, because if you're not going to use them now, I don't know when we'll ever have this amount of house time, ever. So all I know every single ounce of my kitchen, it's been reorganized, turned into a mess again, reorganized, and a mess again. So this is what we're in. So thank you for noticing for the Hudson Bay. So I've split up my pitas, and what I have is a pastry brush. Again, not the barbecue brush, a pastry brush. I like these little silicone guys. They're kind of wiggly. And what I'm doing is I'm dipping it in a little bit of some extra virgin olive oil, which comes from the Galil, which is in the north. And I'm dipping it in. Smell the olives. If you reserve your extra virgin olive oil, like the more expensive stuff, for things that you're actually going to appreciate the flavor in them. So what I'm doing is I'm not pouring it. You see, there's not very much in here. I'm just sort of like putting like some dabbing, okay? Sort of like when you put your blush on before you leave in the car, that kind of idea. Just enough that it's glistening, but it's not soaking. We're not looking to soak in. We're not moving very far these days. So we're trying to watch as many calories as we can, but adding as much flavor and adding enjoyment, as they say here, a pinuk, which is like something to spoil yourself. If you're going to eat, make it worth it and set the table, use your good dishes. You know, why not? Even if it's a toasted bagel, Montreal bagel with lots of salted butter on it, put it on the good china. So what we're going to be adding, so I have just literally just painted my olive oil on top, and I want to give it a little bit of some flavor. So, and I want you to feel the market, right? So notice it says Zatar, my homemade jars. This was a project in lockdown number 1, where Zatar is a mixture of different spices, which Arit's going to tell you all about it. And it changes depending on whose mom made it. And just like a curry powder. So it's a mixture. Some is heavier on the sesame seeds, some is heavier on the sumac. And I am just going to be heavy on it on my pita. That's all that matters. I don't want a little bit of a sprinkle. I want it to look like tu bishvati gia, okay? Like I want it to look green like the earth.
Do you make your spices, Shauna? Do you make those?
I don't. I trust my elders. Okay. As they say, the vatikim, I trust them. They know how to do that. And you want to find your vendor that you love. And I'm putting this in an oven at 350 degrees. Preheat your oven. I'm going to put it in. And like the TV show, look what happens. Isn't that amazing? So what you want to do is that you saw that pita bread was so crazy, fluffy, and soft, okay? You don't have to use fresh. It could be the day after, right? The idea is that you want to dry out that pita to create some crunch. Yes.
We have a question about Tatino sauce.
Yes.
Someone said that they found recipes online and it doesn't include garlic, but includes cilantro or parsley. So I'm assuming there's a lot of different ways of making Tatino sauce.
And it is all yours to play with. You get yourself a big bottle, and every day you can do a different herb, spice, anything that you want. If I brought cilantro into my house, I think I would be ejected out of my house. My family doesn't have the enzyme that they say for coriander or cilantro. I love it. I think it smells like the garden, but everybody in my family does not like it. How about you, Ari?
Shauna, how about amba with the tahini?
Oh.
Have you tried that? That's perfect. But I'm not sure your husband is going to let you stay after that.
Well, you saw that they had sabiach before this. So that was dinner tonight for my kids. They ordered in sabiach sandwiches, which amba, everybody should know, is like a mango chutney kind of sauce that I believe comes from Iraq. And it's like bright, like an egg yolk. It's such a gorgeous color, like mango-y yellow. And it's packed with flavor. So yes, I would try amba and tefina. You see, the best ideas come from conversation, and that's why we're here. So as you see, I'm doing this with, as we're talking, because that's what women do and men do. We multitask and we get stuff done. So notice that you're hearing crunch. That's because it was in the oven and it dried out. And so I have all these.
So gorgeous... people ask, how long does it take to bake it? How long do you bake it for?
It depends on the thickness of your pita and how fresh it was to begin with. So I would say around 10 minutes, 10, 12, it depends, 10 to 12 minutes. And the way you check is if you kind of bend it, and if it's still bending, not ready yet. You want it to crack. So this is what you want it to do. And then they stay in a container for like a week afterwards, which is amazing. So you've recycled your bread. You have homemade croutons, which don't have all the disgusting fillers and God knows other flavorings. You can control the flavor, you can control the fat, and that's one thing we can control, right? Because we can't control anything else but our pita crisps. So here are our croutons, as you see right over here. So those are ready, and that could be done weeks in advance. It could be done on the next snowstorm. So what we're also going to be now is making a salad. And the salad, as I said, is an Israeli salad. And when you think of an Israeli salad, I have Michaela as my student here, is representing now everybody online. When you think of Israel, what's the first vegetable that you think of that goes into an Israeli salad?
Cucumber and tomato.
You got it. Cucumber and tomato. And I couldn't make a decision at the store this morning which tomato to show you, so I had to buy one of each. So this is Israel Startup Nation with all the cherry tomatoes that were created here. This is not an unripe tomato. This happens to be, they call it a chocolate tomato. These are all the little cherry tomatoes. This color, yellow, like really, you can play a full playground in here. And again, I really believe that you eat with your eyes. If it looks beautiful, you're going to want to eat it. And we're doing a lot of cooking these days. So the more variety you can bring into your day, excellent. So these are the cucumbers. When we're talking about a cucumber, they don't need to be peeled. They need to be washed. They're also called the Lebanese cucumber. I would call it an Israeli cucumber. And you just wash it and chop it up. So what we have here is, I just chopped up some cucumbers and tomatoes, as you see right over here. And then we're going to be adding some gorgeous peppers. And again, the hothouse peppers are also Israeli too. And that's, you'll see a lot in the South where they're growing all the peppers. And you can play with whatever pepper that you like. I'm just not a big green pepper fan. You can do red, orange, yellow. Like, again, play with your colors. Make it look exciting. Look what I found in the Shuk today. What, does anybody know what this baby is? Look how big it is.
Pomegranate?
No, try again.
Radish?
Yeah, a radish. Look how big it is.
Wow.
It's like so stunning. I had to buy one just for show and tell. It is so big. And radishes, like you find, are in so many different salads. Like growing up, a radish to me was a garnish on, on the kiddush table with the carrots and celery. Like no one really ate the cabbage, the radish. But look at the beautiful. It's beautiful.
Shana,
yeah.
The beauty of Israel, and this is what I found when I was there, is you eat seasonably. So, and that's what I love. You're not bringing in food that you eat that you shouldn't be eating in the winter that you eat in the summer, and everything's just fresh and local. And that's probably the healthiest way to eat, isn't it?
That's exactly
yes, and
it.
I want to add something. You know, today I live next to an amazing valley, which is called the Valley of the Cross. It's actually something like 20 minutes walk from the Shuk, or the center part of the city. And it's beautiful. Everything is so green and beautiful. And I really try to eat seasonal. And actually I foraged this today for you. I wanted to show you two things that I usually forest in this valley. One is called chubeza. Chubeza is mellow, and mellow is actually greens that we use to many different things. It has an Israeli connection. It has a Palestinian connection. It's very, very nutritious. And I use it almost as every other green, like mangold or whatever
spinach?
You want to use. So it's really nice.
Spinach?
Yeah, spinach, or so spinach. And another thing that I harvest is this. These are the flowers of mustard. This is wild mustard. I add it to salads. So you're making a fattoush. You can also make add this beautiful flower into salads. And also I'm using the leaves of the mustard, the wild mustard, in order to make all kinds of spreads or pastes, like shug, like spicy paste. So we're really trying to eat seasonal in Israel. And I think that what is amazing is that you can you can find everything all year round, right? You can find the tomatoes all year round here in Israel, and the cucumbers and everything. But still, eating something seasonal that grows next to your home is amazing. So back to you, Shauna.
And you have to know, because there's a lot of fields here that, just sort of are uncultivated. And like, I wouldn't know if I wasn't with Ari which green was the chubeza, and I wouldn't randomly just pick. So Arit is really good at that. And then she makes these amazing salads with it. And it's so much fun. And like right now, strawberries are really in season. So you will see strawberries from December till March, and then you'll never see a strawberry again. So the mangoes come out in July, but you can never make a strawberry mango salad because they're never here at the same time. So it's funny, you just get used to it. And I mean, as a Canadian, like that I don't think that will ever get old on me. You know, just the fact that something grew a mile away from me is, I mean, it's how we feel from June to August in Montreal with the tomatoes and the herbs and what's happening in our gardens. And it's really amazing. So back to the fattoush salad, I'm going to be adding a little bit of onion. And these are green onions or spring onions or scallions. Again, if you don't like these or if you don't have them, because I know we're also not going out as much. So I'd love for you to think, you know, what else in my bucket do I have, you know, in my basket or in my fridge that would give an oniony flavor. You can use red onion, you can use white onion, but if your red onion is too spicy and you feel like you're like cutting, you're like tearing as you do it, just put them, slice them up, put them in a bowl of ice water for 10 minutes, and that will take the bite out of it. So then you'll actually enjoy the flavor of the onion without having all the discomfort from it. So when I'm using green onions, I use the whole thing and I chop it up. And again, this is much more of a chunky salad. So you don't want it too big because again, it is an onion, but green onions are incredibly mild. I love green onions. This is like a staple that I always have. I put them in my chicken soup and they just look like a little bit of happiness in everything. So, and really, I think green, it's natural that we want green in our food because it connects us to the earth. So nobody wants to eat tan, brown, you know, like no life kind of thing. And we don't want to think about it that it had a life. We want to think about it that it's yummy and delicious and inviting. So green is your magic, whether it's in a dish, whether it's in the, you know, leaving the skin on your green pepper, on your cucumber, in a pretty bowl, whatever it is that's going to pop that flavor for you. So I have my gorgeous salad here. I have tomatoes, I have peppers, I have my green onion. Of course, I have to put my gorgeous croutons. Remember, croutons are always you put in last, right? Because nobody wants to eat a soggy one. And then we're going to make a quick salad dressing, which again, we're going to be going back to our friends, the lemon, and rolling it on the counter. And if you happen to have bought a lot of lemons and you go through lemons like me all the time, juice a bunch at a time and make a bottle for yourself in the fridge, and you'll love it. Like for a day, you know, a couple of days, it just, because I feel like I'm always doing this. I mean, you see, I'm doing it with my eyes kind of not closed, just not focused, and I just got all the pits inside, but that's okay. And then we're going to be adding some garlic, and our garlic is also, we're coming up to garlic season actually. And garlic, I never really saw garlic so crazy fresh here that it has these shoots that come out of it, and you saute just the shoots of the garlic. It is so spectacular. And if you notice that some of your garlic has like a little bit of green in it, don't freak out over that. That just means it's changed temperature and it's sprouted a little bit, but that doesn't mean it's gone bad or anything. So you don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to chop up my garlic because I can't seem to find my garlic press right now. So I'm just chopping it up really fine, and I'm just using a very, very sharp knife, which I just got sharpened, which is like having a brand new knife. So I just want to let you know that if you have a knife, that's the one thing I tell you. I wouldn't tell you to buy anything with a plug, but I tell you to buy a good knife, because a good knife is an extension of your hand. It's for life, literally. I've had my knives since I went to cooking school, and 49 years old. I went to cooking school when I was 22 years old. So when you buy good, they last, you take care of them, and they keep their edges. It's amazing. So I've added garlic, yum, yum, yum. And again, my extra virgin olive oil, because you see my beautiful bottle of olive oil, because I'm looking at my 5-gallon can that my computer is resting on right now to hold up this, literally the cooking class right now. So I'm holding up my computer. So what I do is I decant the olive oil that I get from Yanai in the Galil, who sells it to me, and I'm so happy to have it. So again, it just makes everything a little bit more personal and more connected to where I am. So I'm putting some salt and a little whisk, and what I do is I just shake it with my hands. I pretend I'm the mixer. There you go, like this. Mix it up. Remember, you can do it just like this. Also, you could also take an old jam jar, and I repurpose my jam jars all the time, especially the bon maman ones with the red and white gingham that I love. And there you go. We have a beautiful salad dressing that I'm going to pour right on top of our salad. And
And what is the secret
not finished
ingredient?
yet. What's that?
What is the secret ingredient of this
Oh,
salad,
the secret
Shauna?
ingredient, actually, thank you for asking. 2 secret ingredients. Number one, remember when we went to hotels and we have shower caps? This is how I preserve my herbs, okay? So here we go is my shower cap. And I have, anybody know what that is? It is fresh nana, fresh mint. The salad dressing, for those who want to know, it's 2 cloves of garlic minced, 1/4 of a cup of fresh lemon juice, 1/3 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper to taste. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be taking my herbs. My herbs have been washed and they're dried, and this is how I keep them, with a little bit of water inside. And I'm pulling off the leaves, and I'm just going to chop them. And I chop them right before I'm going to be putting them in the salad, because what happens when you chop herbs too early? They're too early at the party, they turn black, okay? And nobody wants to look at black herbs. So what you want to do is I'm just cutting them, I'm bunching them all together. And if you like cilantro, you can add cilantro to this mix, and just chop them up, chop, 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 chop. They're nice and clean and dry. And I'm sprinkling this on my salad. So as you can see, it really looks like the garden, okay? Wow. The fresh herbs, you can't replace it with you can't replace it with bottled. But what my kicker spice I'm adding is sumac. And sumac is a spice that comes from a berry, which you're going to learn about in 1 second. And it goes amazing with lemon. And it's a sour, like makes you just like vinegar chips, like sort of make you like salivate. Sumac makes you quench your flavor. And it's this beautiful color. And what I'm going to do is put my finger in, and it's going to give this beautiful fuchsia color to everything. And there we go. So you guys have to find out how to get your hands on some of this sumac, okay? Orit, back to you in Jerusalem.
So first of all, I want to say that since we're doing those cooking workshops, I'm eating almost every day this kind of salad with plenty of sumac, and it's just amazing. I buy my spices in Machane Yehuda, of course, and over there's an amazing spice store which has everything fresh and clean and beautiful. So I want to share with you something that I filmed on this in this market about spices.
I'm standing next to my favorite spice store in the market. This spice store is called Ras El Khanut. Ras El Khanut, for those who are not familiar, it's actually a blend of 10 to 15 different spices from the Northern African cuisine, which I use almost for every dish that I make. This store is amazing because it has a variety of spices from all around the world. But what I'm interested in is the local spices like Zatar and Sumac and Tahini and olive oil. I love this store because everything is fresh and clean, and you know exactly what you buy. You know, when you go and you buy spices, like in the supermarket, for example, 30 to 40% of what you'll buy is a substitute. They would add corn flour, rice flour, wheat flour, everything in order to lower the price down, because spices are very, very expensive. Here, they grind everything on the spot, so I know exactly what I get. Take a look at these beautiful colors, and I wish you could actually smell it. It's so strong. You know, there's a lot of different spices that are imported, but one of the spices that you can find here in Israel that grows in the area of the mountains is Zatar. When we talk about Zatar, we actually talk about 2 different things. One is the herb itself, which is called hyssop, and it is a cousin of the oregano and the thyme. And another thing is this blend that you can see over here. This is a blend that is made from 4 different things. First of all, the hyssop, which is the herb, and then you can see that there are sesame seeds inside, usually roasted, salt, and another thing that is called sumac. This mix is so popular. We eat it with everything, with olive oil, with bread, on cheese. One of the ways to know that you buy your spices in a good place is to see that they save their spices in closed jars. I usually buy spices every 3 to 4 months because it's not the same, you know, the essence and the flavor and everything. One of my favorite spices is sumac. I use it a lot, and it's used all over the Levant. It's basically very sour. It's like this mix of lemon and salt together. When you go and you buy sumac, you have two options. One is this, which is the spice or a blend of different spices that has a sumac inside. And another thing is this, which is the pure sumac. You can really see the fruit.
So now is not the season for sumac, actually. It's this kind of tree that has this beautiful like seeds and fruits that we can forage if we want. And I usually forage sumac, but now it's not the season, but it is the season of the shkedia. And this is something that I just picked from the valley next to my house. The almond tree is so beautiful now. Everywhere you go in Israel, I mean, weather is crazy, right? In the last few years. And I think that this year, everything is earlier. Like even the shkedia started to blossom something like 2 months ago, which was crazy. And it's still going on. And you can see that it's everywhere, like everywhere you go in Jerusalem and Jerusalem mountains, you can see that. And it's just beautiful. And it's now after Tu B'Shvat. And in Tu B'Shvat is the season, it's the time of also the shkedia to blossom. So this is something that you can really see all around Jerusalem and all around the mountains. And it's really warms my heart. So we've had tahini, and we've had the fattoush salad, which is amazing with all of the spices. And what are we having for the main course?
The main course, the big hurrah. We are going to be making shawarma chicken because shawarma, you think about the market. And no, I don't have that big thing that we're going to be shaving. We're basically using boneless chicken, which is easy. It came out of my freezer. I defrosted it in my fridge. It's super nice and thin. And we're going to be spicing it up. And Michaela told us right beforehand that she made a recipe and they called for curry. And I said, you know what? A curry is just a mixture of different spices. Again, there's curries that you know, an English curry tastes different than a curry from Mumbai, and a Mumbai one tastes different from one from Cochin. It's just, it's the balance of all the different spices. So when I say shawarma spice, yes, I bought shawarma spice, and this is how it comes. I didn't make it because it's in every little dépanneur, as you would say here. So I don't have to make it, but I wanted to dissect it a little bit so I could show you what's actually in it. So again, what's giving that gorgeous yellow hue? Turmeric, which is a wonderful antioxidant, comes from a root. It's yellow. It's what makes mustard yellow. We have, sorry, I'm just turning off my grill so I don't smoke up my whole house. We have paprika, I have cayenne pepper, I have ginger, I have cardamom. These are the cardamom pods. So you could see this beautiful palette of spices, and they have smells like that because they're fresh, and that's really what you want to have. So if you don't have the mixture that you may have bought last year on your trip, and maybe it's in your freezer still and you didn't mark it, maybe it's time to clean out and see what's actually there. And you can make it yourself, and the recipe is included. It's shawarma spice mixture on the recipe, so everybody has the recipes and they're yours. Feel free to share them. That's the highest compliment in the world, when people share your recipe and don't leave anything out. Nothing has been left out. So that's very important. So I want you can't really see, but we're kind of camping here. I have a gas grill here, and I have my pan that I brought from Montreal, my indoor grill pan, because that is very important in Montreal to have an indoor grill. And basically I'm on a gas little camping stove right over here, so we can be with each other. I don't want to be over there. So what I'm doing is I'm preheating my cast iron pan, and I just brushed it with a little bit of olive oil. You can see some smoke. If my fire alarm goes, you know what's going on. So my chicken is boneless, skinless chicken. And basically what I did an hour before the class is I squeezed some lemons. You know how I did it with this handy dandy little fork. I added some of my delicious fruity extra virgin olive oil. I added some garlic and some salt and pepper and a big 1 to 2 tablespoons of this magic powder, okay? And yalla, as they say, is so simple. And what I'm doing is I always preheat your grill. That's super important. You never want to put chicken or any meat on a cold grill because you're not going to get that sound, and you're also not going to sear it, okay? And that traps in all the juices. Remember, I'm only using white meat here, so white meat has really no schmaltz on it. So we got to hold on to whatever schmaltz we can. So the one way to do it is having high heat and sear it really quickly. And if you find that you're tugging at it and it's ripping, you're being impatient. You have to practice some mindfulness, do some blowing exercises, some breathing exercises. I don't know what you would need to do just to wait, which is usually my practice because I cook on high heat on everything. So that's my work to do as well, just to take a second and let it actually do its work. So I'm seeing that my pan is starting to sear, to smoke. You hear that sound, everybody? You hear that sound? That's good.
A good sound.
Okay, so I'm putting my chicken on my pan, again with my famous utensil, my fork, which is, you know, you don't need anything fancy. So there's no excuses here not to be making this chicken because I have a bowl and I have a fork. Again, if you don't have this grill pan, what you can do is roll up the chicken into little bundles, put them close together in a loaf pan, and bake it in the oven at 400 degrees. And this way, the chicken stays rolled up so it's not going to dry out, because dried out boneless chicken is not fun. No matter how much tahini you put on it, you'll still be. So you want to roll it up and let it cook together, and then take it out, and then you're just going to slice it into shreds. And pretend it's in it. You can put it in a pita. You can put it as a deconstructed salad with the salad, whatever you wish. So, Michaela, I think you have questions. You're looking at me.
We do. We have a question of, first of all, someone actually said you can forage for sumac in the Laurentians, which I had no idea.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
good to know. Yeah. Because now I'm thinking the spices that I buy that you think are fresh, I'm like, in a jar because it's convenient. Oh my God, we miss out on so much. Someone had asked me to buy sumac in Montreal. You know where I think I would find it in
You can buy it. I think
Adonis would probably have spices. Adonis or
Adonis has them in Cote and Loop Shopping Center. The IGA used to have them, and the line of the spices that I love are this brand, and they have them there. Pereg.
Oh, okay. So Loblaws might have them in the kosher section too, with the spices. Okay, that's good to know.
Did everybody see my gorgeous lines?
Beautiful.
And no, there was no tugging happening. Any more questions, Michaela, as I flip?
Someone just said the chicken looks thinly sliced. Yes, it is thinly sliced.
It's very thinly sliced because we're live, and I got this is all happening in front of you. So nothing is over there, nothing's over there. So it's all over here.
Oh, wait. Akavan have spices, somebody said as well. And
Hi, Ruth Kanzan.
hello.
Hello.
There's lots of places we'll find them. You just got to look.
Yes, Montreal is one of the most ethnically diverse culinary centers of the world. So you have everything. And again, like, don't buy it in big amounts. And if you do, put it in small amounts in your jars and keep the reserve in your freezer or share with a friend.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
P&A, I love P&A.
Yeah.
Love that supermarket. So I know that the Hashomayim, I have to say, is one of the first who sent out a save the date for a trip to Israel next December. So I think that's super exciting that it's on your calendar that Shaar Hashomayim is coming to Israel and Dubai, of course, which is so cool. But I think that's really amazing. And so Arit and I really hope to see you, and we'd love to be part of it and to connect with you guys.
I think it's a great trip, and I would love
Are there
to.
any more questions? So
No
I'm going
more
to show you.
questions
I'm going to do my full reveal. But I just want to know if there's another question before I do it.
No more questions.
Okay. So my chicken is looking gorgeous, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Okay, I'm steaming my face as well. It's fantastic.
It's unbelievable. I ate an hour ago, and now when I see Shauna's food, I want to bite it. It looks delicious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can see the glistening, right? It's live. You just want to wait a minute, and then you can chop it up. And then I just want to show the full reveal. We have the gorgeous salad. Blue was my accent color today. I don't know. I was pulling out all my blue dishes. And then I just made right before some roasted potatoes, because everybody loves a roasted potato. And some gorgeous trina that's going to go with the chicken, the salad, akol b'yachad, as they say. So I just, on behalf of me and Arid and Shefa and our journey and being in Israel, I just want to thank Michaela for organizing this, helping, bring us together, bring our worlds together, bring our, just Jews together. And it really was such a wonderful experience to connect with everybody at the Shaar. I miss you terribly. I'm so homesick. I miss Tanya. I miss Kiddush. I miss Cantor Zellermeyer. I miss Abby's classes. And, there's just, we realize when it's taken away how rich our lives are. And I know it will all come back. And so just everybody be well. I love staying connected. And if anybody has questions, I'm Chef Shauna at Gmail, or Reet is
First of all, I want to say I miss tourists, I miss guiding, I miss traveling with everyone. So I really hope that the next trip you'll have will be to Israel. There's plenty to see, and Israel and Jerusalem is amazing. So I will be very happy to host you here. My Gmail is orit.tour@gmail.com. So I'll be very happy to answer any questions, and I will be very happy to see you again in Israel.
Amen.
I can't talk. I can't talk.
Are you on mute? Okay, she's on mute. Okay, so shalom from Renata.
I think, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Are you guys done so I can thank you guys?
We're done. We're finished.
Thank you so much. I honestly, I've started eating seasonally, started like a year ago, because I don't want to eat any more food that, shouldn't be eaten in January, really, because I grew up that way and I think it's the best way to eat. Thank you so much. I could just roll in that halva and eat it forever. I love it. And I can't wait. It made me want to come back to Israel. I can't wait. And we also miss the Shaar because we're also not able to go to all these wonderful things that we used to have. So it's all virtual, which is thank goodness for that. So thank you so much. I just want to remind everyone to check the website, sign up for the e-newsletter. Our next Sisterhood event will be February the 23rd. We have Justice Suzanne Costum speaking to us. So it's going to be a great evening. Then Monday, March 8th, we have a storytelling evening with Selena and Oro. And at the end of March, on the 23rd, we have Deborah Korber speaking. So lots of things coming up. Shauna, your email again was chefshauna@gmail.com. Thank you.
You got it.
Okay, so thank you so much. Smells amazing. I can smell it from here. And it was nice to have 1 hour away from the snow in beautiful Israel. And thank you again. Stay safe.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.